What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Good evening and welcome for the final time this split to the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for Rocket League Spring 2023. I am Solar, joined by Ox. It's been a while, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Of course, some fantastic Rocket League lined up with a great co-host in yourself and some people behind the scenes making sure everything runs smoothly. I'm very excited for what's about to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. We have had a long, old road in this double elimination bracket. 3 teams remain, and we're starting out in the lower bracket final with UEA Blue Jays and Loughborough Lions, a rematch from the upper bracket semi-finals in which neither team, particularly at their best on that day, went all the way to game number 7, and UEA came out on top in that one. Loughborough looking for revenge here, and a matchup in the final with Roehampton.
Yeah, Roehampton, they are the end goal, but of course these two teams, they've got to play each other to get to that point before. They also matched up last split as well. The series before LAN, it went to 7, and UEA managed to eliminate Loughborough, sending themselves, of course, to that LAN in Nottingham, eventually winning it all as well, which was it was a phenomenal lower bracket run. That went to 7. We had 7 just last week as well. And I mean, I'd love to see another Champions Field here. Just adds that suspense. You know, these teams, they're going to be playing at the top level, and to see that level of Rocket League is something that is truly a spectacle.
Yeah, naturally, it could be a long day for one of these two teams. Of course, winning here would put them in the grand final, but due to the format of double elimination, they would require a bracket reset to pull Roehampton down into the lower bracket and even have a chance at coming out on top of Roehampton. Win one of 2 best of 7s, they will be crowned champions, but one of these two teams will have to take 2 series off of Roehampton to be crowned our new Spring 2023 champions, UEA and Loughborough. Well, it was a very varying run, as we said. UEA did come through Lancaster in the quarterfinals and then knocking Loughborough down in the semi-finals. And it was again in game 7 in that upper bracket final against Roehampton. They did eventually lose. And due to Loughborough's loss, it was a far more of a gauntlet run for them, having to go through the lower bracket as well.
Yeah, I mean, Loughborough, they're the only team in this bracket that have managed to win more than one series in the lowers. So, you know, they've started that run to just make a bit more of a headway would be great. Like you said, Roehampton in the final, in that bracket reset, it's been done before. It was done on LAN. It's slightly different. Of course, you've competed on LAN as well. You know that pressure is there. Online, it's a slightly different thing. You know, maybe the comfort of your own home, your own flat, wherever these players may be. Maybe, you know, they'll be in comms, of course. They'll have coaches, UEA. They've got a great coach. I don't know what Loughborough situation that is, but of course, it's just that team chemistry, being in your element, managing to reach that flow state just puts you in a position where you can, again, unlock that top level of skill. It's been such a difficult run for any team to get here. You know, we saw Warwick, they managed to come second last time all the way through the uppers, and instead they bombed out in the 5th to 8th position, just not able to really get anything going instead. And yeah, if you can't compete with these top teams, you will be taken out. And that was, you know, dismantling for some of the previous champions of this region.
Yeah, Warwick was definitely a bit of surprise. They started so strongly against Lincoln last week with a 6-2 win in game number 1, 5 goals coming in the space of a minute as well. And we thought Lincoln were maybe in a bit of trouble there, but really ended up turning it around as that series went on. And they looked strong enough against Loughborough as well. That game 7 and the series as a whole could really have gone either way, but Loughborough just with that little bit more prowess. Crimson, their coach, just keeping them level-headed, keeping them talking, as Stamina said to us in the interview, sort of post-series, and Crimson having a very big impact there. But she may be called upon again for this one with UEA coming up, and that's the danger of the double elimination is for UEA at very least. I think statistically, at least in the RLCS, is where you tend to get most of these stats. Is I think 2/3 of the time almost when a team gets knocked from the upper bracket final down into the lower bracket final, they generally go out in the lower bracket, and it's a team that's made that run that then goes on to the grand final. Of course, it has been a week since those series were played, so both teams very much mentally and physically reset. So maybe not such a threat for UEA, but it's got to be something that might just be playing on their minds a little bit.
Yeah, of course, UEA, they have done it before. Loughborough haven't had that opportunity to try and bracket reset. And even if you're looking at those individual matchups, and this, it could go either way. It's gone to Game 7 in the 2 matchup these teams have had before. UEA, I think I might favour them a bit more against Roehampton, whereas Loughborough against Roehampton is something that you don't see too often in a position that Loughborough is coming out on top of. Roehampton is such a dominant force in the UK and the European scene for all sorts of collegiate and university competitions, and Loughborough isn't quite renowned to be at that level. Of course, it's a strong university. They had 3 teams competing, 2 of those making the prize playoffs for the Nil Spring split. And as we get this series underway, every single player, every single team remaining in this bracket going to need to be at the top of their game if they want just a chance at that trophy.
All starts here in game number 1, best of 7. It's a long old series, but when you think about it, can be over in 35 minutes to an hour, and that is, your day done. It's been a long road, a lot of work has gone into this point with just 3 teams left. To see it fall apart here with the devastating first shot turned away there by Crookie. Terrible force to the corner. It's going to be all about these opening couple minutes. We're going to get to see how the 2 teams match up. What to really expect from them as they get a feel for each other once more. It's been 2 weeks since they last faced off. Loughborough looking for revenge.
Another interesting thing actually about this Loughborough side is the previous split, Turbolo wasn't on the main roster. He was a substitute, then needing to be brought in for the series they played against UEA, ultimately losing that. He performed so well, they decided to keep him on, and well, it's proved to pay dividends as they're going to get another shot here, only just forced away, and Stamina making good saves. He has been really a star player for them, but of course if you're going to see this just continuous pressure put up by UEA, you're not going to be able to see that stardom really come into fruition. You can't get any sort of shots on goal at your opponents.
Got to keep working at it, and it's all about working your way out of your own half as well, as UEA attempt to do so successfully. Snipe plays into the corner, Turbo bump from the wall, but it's going to be Crookie first to this one, gets that corner boost, stealing pinch, looks for the double. Ant-Man quickest to read by a country mile. Turbo dunked. E-clap one-on-one. Fancies himself a bit of a one's main at times. Didn't come out on top this time around. 2 minutes gone in game number 1. We are still scoreless as Crookie looks to set one up and gets the double tap home. Loughborough Lions with the first goal of the series.
They were in their own half, their own box even for the first minute, maybe minute and a half. They finally forced something out, and well, yeah, Crookie going to force this forward and force the goal as well. Only 2 minutes in, but this first goal could just be a great momentum booster, reset the mentality. Like you said, been a while since they've played. They haven't played any sort of competition today, so as long as you can get that mental game up as well, it is such a long road ahead, having to win 3 series without failure if they want to be taking home the gold medal in this. And what a great way to start as well, making sure you can stave away the opponents on defense and turn it into a great counter-attack.
Game to go. Loughborough Lions lead. Stamina forced to make a clear. 2 players have gone up here from Loughborough, but Crookie will be able to follow. Nearly gets a dunk. Ant-Man just a little bit quicker, demoed for his troubles. Cookie again turns on the halfway line with that man waiting in the corner, plays it slow, carries it round one, flick missed, Equa to take over, looking for Snipe, manages to force the corner. Cookie looks awkward, but catches well, 70 in the tank, what can he do with it? Not much further, again Ant-Man's interesting battle going on between those two players. They've come together quite a lot, and despite Cookie's goal, generally Ant-Man coming out on top. But what a save from Stamina onto the crossbar. Defensively, he's been astounding so far this series.
Yeah, and again, we haven't even seen one full game go by, and we're already seeing these players start to emerge, really show their presence, their domination on this field. Ant-Man has to make a goal line save, and it even starts to go into that goal. But no, it's kept out. The 1-0 lead stays. Macca's working with this, only a minute and a half left, even less now. And UEA, they're going to want some more pressure. They had shots early, they had pressure early, but they haven't been able to convert just yet. Equal again wants something, but no. Stamina from his own back line wants to force it downfield. Snipe, maybe middle to teammate, but Crookie can take this instead. And oh my goodness, the pass to Stamina will put them up by 2. And Loughborough, they put themselves in a more than desirable position in this game 1 here.
There's a minute and 9 to go. Stamina shoots. It's a pre-jump there from Snipe. He goes up too quick, covers maybe just a little bit too much ground in the end. He goes beyond the ball. Double commit here, straight up the kick-off. Crookie quick to challenge though, to make up for a little mistake from his teammates. He's not going to turn on this one. Stamina reads it very, very well. Still a defensive powerhouse in game 1. Crookie uses the post to deny. Stamina there to clear. There's no follow at the moment for UEA. They're creating chances. Ultimately, it's one shot save, never any follow-up. That has to change for them. Time ticks away in game number 1. 2 demos there from Ant-Man, and all of a sudden, back into game 1.
This is great again. Mac is either one's main, but once that player in the goal line is gone, it's just a matter of not even having to worry about the 1v1. It's the one attacker versus someone who's trying to streak back into defense, and you can't really set yourself in a position to defend just anything like that. And well, like you say, only 1 goal in it, 30 seconds left. So Loughborough, they can just hold on to this lead. UEA, they want to just put another dent into the lead of Loughborough. If they can equalize this game, they'll still be feeling pretty confident. Crookie with a nice shot by Ant-Man, easy enough to save away now. Snipe, maybe with the clearance, no Stamina, chips it just over him and onto this crossbar away. Snipe again works it downfield, but that's stripped away from him. Mackers down onto the halfway line, no one's back. Turblo's going to score. Turblo's going to make this a 3-1 game, and just like that, I feel like this game 1 over. Loughborough, they came out in phenomenal fashion after the first minute or 2, and they've proven that they are here, they want to compete, and they want to take
good opening game from themselves. They went up 5 seconds to go. It should be nailing the coffin for it. Equal tries to slow the kickoff down. Doesn't go in the favour of UEA this time around, but surrendered game number 1. And good little fight back, but it's like I said earlier, it was a little bit, one-man show going forward. Not necessarily one player specifically, but when they did go forward, there was a shot. There was never really the follow-up, lacking a little bit of that second-man presence in that game.
Yeah, like you said, just be able to follow up and making sure that you're working as a very cohesive unit. And more than anything, Loughborough, they did it on the defense. They had 5 saves in that game, and then they were able to turn it into some offense as well. Pretty even actually on shots between the two. But if you can convert a few more like Loughborough did, they just gave themselves good opportunities. And then at the end, UEA trying to push forward. They just needed something in those last dying seconds, and they overcommitted. They pushed a bit too far downfield, and Loughborough, they were able to capitalize on that, take the first game, and well, that's amazing from them, of course. Put himself a great position. It's a best of 7 though, so it is still an endurance race, and then at least one more after this for the winning side. And well, maybe if fatigue comes into play, you can play ranked, you can do scrims for several hours, but once you've got proper comms and there's pressure on the line and something of this magnitude, that fatigue, that tiredness, not quite playing at that 110% like you want to be, could start to be a factor.
Coming into game number 2, Sovereign Heights, and what I like to call, at least in a best of 7, probably the most important game of the series. Naturally, one team has to have lost it. Now we look for a response from UEA Blue Jays. They did try to claw their way back into that one, and ultimately I think that third goal for Loughborough just comes from a little overextension where they are really fighting to get that goal back. And just trying a little too hard to connect in the end of Equat's pass, but not particularly great one either way. Now it's up to UEA to find a response here. Snipe flicks that ball high. Turbo into the middle, finds Crookie to the backboard, wide of the mark. Ant-Man there again. Duel between the two. So frequent in game number one. It looks like it's not slowing down anytime soon here. So a whiff there from Equan. It leaves Turbo with time. Picks out Crookie, returns it back. Snipe far quicker to deal with that ball in the corner. Equan catches it low, flex high, easy for Turbo in the end though. Still just a little too route one from UEA, as that one does just sneak wide twice at that near post. UEA odds and ends here in defence.
Seeing a few too many just misses and whiffs in the air from UEA. It's nothing too major, no goals being scored on them because of it, but it stopped them from really mounting an attack or getting any sort of forward pressure or speed instead. That's a good clear sniping to the side as well. Actually, that's going to set off Loughborough's attempt to stop this, and now at the halfway mark they can. Maybe the follow-up from Turbo would have been a phenomenal touch, but no, Crookie down in the middle, back to Stamina, just trying to keep this away from the waiting UEA players, and Snipe can get a touch for this. Just a race to this ball again. Ant-Man downfield, no one from his side at least going to be there to support this, and Turbo wanting some sort of touch inwards has to bait around Snipe. Ant-Man taking this away, and again just working in tandem, those two. Phenomenal upfield as long as they can keep this upfield, and instead it looks like there's going to be another quick attempt at a counter-attack from the Loughborough Lions. Not quite anything immediately there though.
Still Loughborough that are looking the two more threatening of the two going forward. A couple of shots just sneaking wide, definitely knocking at the door, but UEA keeping it firmly shut and padlocked, not allowing them through. It's Turbo, plays it high in the corner, Stamina up, doesn't quite get the read right, ends up turning it back towards zone corner. Crookie and Turbo will be back for this. It seemed like a good opportunity to maybe put the first one on the board in game number two. Snipe forced to save, picks out Equad, does just about beat Stamina. Turbo with time in the corner, now under pressure, doesn't quite get the ball away. Crookie up, beaten by Ant-Man. Snipe with a chance.
Oh no,
Equad's taking it away. They have just about scraped back to deny that, but could have been messy for them.
I don't know if that was meant to be a team pass or if he just fell on that awkwardly and that wasn't intentional at all, but either way there was definitely what could have developed into a golden opportunity stripped away, and again actually Turbo able to strip this away from the attempted attacking Blue Jays. Now Snipe downfield, wants to pass to somebody, instead actually no one's there, but another touch round one more defender. Ant-Man diving in, trying to go for any sort of touch. Turbo, this could drop down and be dangerous, but no, Snipe and UEA not going to make those same whiffs they did at the start of this game. Now back, Ant-Man with a powerful clear actually. Snipe, yeah, one more touch to this, trying to put it into this blue box. Crookie can maintain possession. No, stripped away by Ant-Man again. Hanging up, Equat's going to be there with a shot, it's going to be in as well. The defender gets touched to it, but not quite enough, it can't be kept out, and now the UEA Blue Jays will be able to lead for the first time in this series.
Equat, a strong shot, and just not quite well positioned there, Loughborough, to deal with it. You've got a man on the front post that really should be facing the other way, looking to challenge Crookie, just a little bit far off the back post, facing in towards the net. They didn't give themselves the chance to make that save, but an opportunity well taken by Equat as UEA have their lead. Ant-Man, I think he was going to pick up that boost, but someone snuck in and stole it from Crookie into the corner. Stamina looking for the bump. Ant-Man again plays that so patiently. That's something that he's done particularly well so far this series, is take it slow, take it calm out of his own half, using the corners to just allow his teammates back in. That's a great touch from Turbo. Stamina is up, still going to get a touch. Crookie with the shot and Snipe with the save this time around. 40 seconds to go, remains 1-0. The Loughborough really pushing for that equaliser.
It's really hard to tell, at least when the game's moving this fast, but it seems like UEA, they're struggling to boost just a bit more, whether it's, they're on offense and they can't quite get a corner boost, can't get the pads there, put in a position where they do seem to be running back time and time again, looking for the defense. It doesn't matter if they can get this second, no, but as the seconds tick away, all that matters now is holding on to this one goal lead that could be two. It will be in a pretty unorthodox fashion, actually. Ant-Man sneaking it between two defenders, not the most flashy goal, but it is a goal. It will go down on the score sheet now as a double lead, and well, they can, you assume at least, use this and turn it into a 1-1 series. It's best of 7, still got a ways to go, as long as UEA don't fumble this kick off. There we go, easy enough for them, you hope. Just trying to play possession here. I like that from Eclat, I like this from the Blue Jays. They've turned it around. They looked a bit out of sorts after that first game, but no, they're proving they're still very much here to fight and they want to be competing.
Yeah, the perfect response really in the end. They get game 2, tie up the series, and have kept Loughborough out for the full 5 minutes. No goals for themselves. Not particularly many shots. Turbo not managing any. Crookie only managing 2. So a little bit more of a controlled performance really from UEA. Loughborough now themselves having to look for the response. And really, it did just feel like avoidable goals for me in that one. Just slightly poor positioning coming down to it. So that's really how close these two teams are. Is as soon as there's a sort of little bit of a mistake, then you're opening that door, you're giving the opponents, and when that mistake doesn't come, it's proving to be a lot harder to break down both these teams, and we do seem to get a really, really tight game.
Okay, so not the best start for UEA there. I think you can agree. Looking good. These teams very evenly matched. Ant-Man just a bit too far up for that ship. Of course, that's why you have the teammate back there in Snipe. Dives, just doesn't get the read, unfortunately. And well, yeah, you're gonna concede there. 1-0 down after pretty much still 5 minutes left in the clock. So fighting from a deficit immediately is UEA. Eclat wants to equalize, and oh my goodness, not quite. Crookie want to save. No one can follow up immediately. Snipe doesn't get the best cut either, and now all 3 players from UEA racing back. They just need some touch, some clearance. Eclat, not the best first touch, but now staying with this, working. Ball downfield out of Palmer's way again, but Crookie wants to put it right back into the mixer. Stamina with a nice touch. Who's there? Stamina again, actually. No, that dropped to Turbo, who can take this airborne as well. Eclat should have the 50 and does. Gets this one up. Now maybe there's 50 for himself. No, not quite. Well, it seemed like a very chaotic 45 seconds or so there, and it leads with UEA being down by 1. Maybe 2 if they mistake here, but no, they've managed to sort out any of that. There's slight problems just on the back line, and the pressure will continue to be against them unless they can force this one out and turn it into a manipulative counter-attack.
Perks of at least conceding that early goal. You've got 4 minutes 57 to pull it back. It's about as long as you can ask for. Snipe, the challenge on stamina, loses out. Ant-Man quickest with no boost to follow himself. He's going to look for a bump for a demo. Snipe gets one in Turbo, but Eclat and Ant-Man clatter into each other down that right-hand side. And any pressure that they'd hoped to build up slowly dissipates. Turbo to the backboard. Eclat catches. Another one over to the halfway line. Crookie meets him, but Ant-Man much quicker on that one. Snipe high to the backward. 2 players can't reach it. Ant-Man with an opportunity to shoot. It's not got the power on it. Stamina will make the save. Again, it's this follow-up from UEA that seems to be the problem at the moment. Ant-Man, you're looking for him to be a little bit closer to that one, get a little bit more power on it, and they've got that equaliser they so desperately need here in Game 3.
We are going to see what good follow-up looks like. Stamina can't quite get the touch, but Crookie is at least there, able to read play as it develops almost instantaneously. Again, Stamina with this touch central. Crookie's going to be there instead. That wasn't a bad shot. That was a perfect pass and an even better shot somehow. Top shelf. Oh my goodness. What a touch. That's the communication. That's what happens when a team has chemistry. Perfectly weighted pass. Smashed. No one's reaching that, even if you know where it's going. Off the bar and down. Phenomenal shot. Highlight reel sort of stuff, and they won't mess up that kickoff either. Like Macca's staying with this, maybe looking for an Ant-Man down below. This is played downfield nearly a great clear into a goal from Turblo, no, but that demo will still prove to be dangerous unless great clear, actually. I'm liking that from UEA. They can get rid of some pressure and even a chance for a shot as well. Top corner, that is in. Oh my goodness, they turn that round immediately. Now still only trailing by 1, and UEA showing that they've still got potential. Eclat wants to do it all himself.
There's that little touch of ones I was talking about with Eclat. Just delays that flip on the shot. Just that little bit longer. Baits them in. Waits to see how they react. What the free jump is. Where you can put it. Picks his spot in the top right-hand corner. Back within 1 are UEAs. Ant-Man forces the corner snipe. Brought into the action. Picks out Eclat. Takes a touch high. It's a little awkward for himself. Krookie will catch from the ceiling. Ups to go low. Takes the shot. He's caught Ant-Man out. It's all Krookie in that one as it goes 3-1 to Loughborough.
Just a nice bit of solo play. He sees Eclat do it. Wants to show that he can do it too. Instead of going aerial, no, he's going to drop it down and just that nice touch off the bonnet. No one able to quite read that Ant-Man reaching, but not able to get that touch. And now Krookie again gets this 50. Eclat also pushes one away from the halfway line into the opponent's territory, but right back into the blue half of the field. Now Snipe just over Ant-Man, bit of a whiff touch, stamina off the corner. That is exactly what I'm doing. Krookie again, and he finds that top right again, and he manages to find his team the 4th goal and the 3-goal lead. UEA, they're now struggling. It really seemed like these two were a great match for each other. They seemed so strong, both teams able to put on some great attacks, but no, it's somehow just seeing Loughborough streaking ahead. Not the result, not the momentum of the series I was expecting, but I still love to see it.
One of the better hat-tricks I've seen in the past month or so. 2 beautifully placed top shelf shots there. 1 pixel perfect in off the crossbar. The other one barely gets underneath it. Not a chance for UEA to do anything about it. Eclat with the shot wide. Stamina there ahead of Ant-Man. Snipe creating so many problems, but Stamina stands tall in the last man role. Keeps that goal lead at 3. Krookie gets 2 very strong dunks as well as a minute remains in game number 3. They're trying to shut this down now as Krookie gets his 4th of game number 3, and Loughborough just about out of sight here on DFH.
That's 4 goals off his 5 shots, clinical shooting, and he's done it in positions where you don't think there's going to be the best shot on, you think, you know, it's just more put a shot on there, hopefully go for the rebound, because that's what a lot of this Loughborough attack has been, anticipating the shots, anticipating the bounces and working with it, but no, almost every single time able to find the net. That one might also be on net, no, Turblo off the side easy enough, and this game 3, you assume again, is just right up at this point, no matter how many goals, no matter what sort of showing you see from UEA, giving up 4 goals in this period of time, especially when Loughborough are playing as good as they are. They barely even had any defensive woes, any defensive questions asked of them by UEA, and Ant-Man, weird position in his corner, barely any boost again. We're seeing Blue Jays struggle time and time again with this stamina once the shot, but he can't plant his car down, and again, the second tick by Snipe. A bit of a fancy play here, no, Krookie off to the side, and we're going to see a decisive game 3, a 2-1 lead now established for the Loughborough Lions. It's great to see them again manage to thrive. They're succeeding. They're making this lower bracket run to the grand final, to assume, as long as they can keep this passing up. I'm not trying to drink it. I'm not trying to say anything too early, but well, maybe it's like that will still hoping that happens. Great scoreline.
Eclat doing his best to make it happen. 2 seconds left on the clock. They could just leave this kickoff to go all the way in, but I think there's got to be some element of pride left that. In UEA. Yeah, Eclat was static there. I think he was prepared to let it happen, but his 2 teammates maybe not so much. Regardless, that's a big game 3 for Loughborough. Statement made here. They go 2-1 up in the series, 2 games away from 1 getting their revenge from the upper bracket semi-finals 2 weeks ago, and 2 at least finishing top 2 and getting a pop at Roehampton in the grand final. But again, UEA 9 shots there, just the one converted. It's concerning once more for them.
And that's off of 5 saves as well, which means, of course, 5 saves. There were 4 shots, one of which went in, the other 3 just missing. They're off the post, crossbar, just too far away. They registered the shot, but not dangerous enough, you know? Maybe even like I don't think there was any teammate saves or anything like that. So it's just not quite the shooting you're looking for, not quite on, you know, that crookie level, that 4 or 5, and you're seeing 6 goals off of 8 shots for the entire Loughborough side as well, which is an amazing statistical line you rarely see. And this is a 2-1 and a best of 7. You don't look at that scoreline and think, oh, okay, it's going to be over in 5 or 6. It very well could be if we see Loughborough continue to play like this. Now, UEA are an incredibly strong side, and to ever write them off, I've seen them, pull off. They've managed to stop reverse sweep attempts. They've managed to get a few themselves in any sort of new format, whether it be the Swiss stage or it be the playoffs, both this split and the last. They're so strong, but Loughborough just seem on a different level today. They can't quite manage to come out what Loughborough line are putting in front of them.
Was 8 shots for Loughborough, 2 saves, 6 goals, so certainly shooting better at the moment. We saw that from Krookie, 4 goals from himself, 2 incredibly well taken goals, making up his first and his hat-trick, I do believe. Stamina forcing an early one here. Again, it's just one of these tester shots that you'd expect to see in game. I want to snap at it that really just seems to come from frustration, a desire to put something on net, knowing that you've just been beaten quite heavily, and just mentally letting it get to them. Stamina, this time beaten by Ant-Man. He picks up that mid boost, a little bit awkward in the back corner here. Or Loughborough, side gets a shot on, and so does he. Both of them wide, coming from an unfavourable angle, unable to get round it in time, and it goes wide of the far post.
Somehow, I thought Eclat would have nestled that one home, but unfortunately not able to get the conversion. The first shot, a bit difficult, and unfortunately not to put that through. Maybe a chance to work together, combine with Snipe. No, he takes it away from Snipe, and he can't put that even close to the net there. Again, he's such a prolific player when he's on his game, but today doesn't quite seem to be his, and instead dribbling it around in front of his box. Snipe now needs some sort of clearance. Krookie taking this away from Turblo, who can now get the follow-up. That will be in bottom corner. We're seeing that right-hand side of the net peppered game after game, map after map by Loughborough. So many players up, but eventually this ball goes in, and you know where it's going. It's going in the UEA net, courtesy of Loughborough, courtesy of Turblo, and again, a 1-goal lead. The lead re-established for Loughborough. Hard
to argue that the momentum is very much in their favour, despite looking a little bit shaky in the early stages of game number 4. 2-1 up in the series, 1-0 up in this game. Eclat's not going to get there. Stamina and Turbo both looked like they thought the other had it covered. They called each other off, neither committed, thankfully for themselves. Doesn't seem to be particularly detrimental, but it's a huge opportunity pass up to make it to after that with another double commit between the two. Krookie there to mop up, force a save out of Snipe, but Loughborough, despite being 2-1 up, despite being 1-0 up in this game as well, it looks like they're just starting to think about how close they are to the grand finals at this point. Of course, they would still need to win one more game, but already in a particularly advantageous position. And Krookie, arguably MVP of the series so far, makes it 2.
Yeah, the shooting from Krookie is phenomenal halfway through this game, and again we see a few opportunities, a few shots from UEA, but no, Loughborough, they're just playing at a higher plane right now. They know what they've got to do, and they're doing it. There are a few double commits or 2 players up, 2 players hesitant to go for the ball, and as much as you want to cut that out for the grand finals, even just the last part of this series, they weren't ever pressured by UEA. It wasn't like UEA capitalised on the mistakes made by Loughborough, so they got off relatively scot-free there, and they're working now. They're right back at their well-oiled machine sort of level. The drop down to Stamina. Turbo can't get this, and never mind I say that. Well, the attempted pass down, not quite not quite ready. His Loughborough defense turned offense defense very quickly, and Ant-Man and just accounts, and with 2 minutes left, plenty of time, only a 1-goal deficit, something that is more than surmountable if you are the Blue Jays.
Being able to fight back to this point before game number 1, but with a late push looking for the equaliser. They'd end up conceding. Ant-Man shot turned wide by Crookie and an infield pass from Eclat. Seems too far away. That's an awkward little one to deal with. Comes ball side on the rotation, taken away by Ant-Man. A long clear from side. Goes over the top of Stamina. Eclat tries to get that back in the middle. But a recovery there from Stamina will take it away. 1:23 left on the clock. UEA have to start again from Northern half. Eclat off score high, looking for the double tap. Crookie gets a read, but Ant-Man's up. Turbo's committed. He gets the save, but Snipe has the read, and this time they are able to tie up.
What a great read as well, anticipating just a weak touch and the dunk from Snipe. Oh my goodness, that was dominant from a few yards out, it seems, and yeah, smacked home. A tie game now. There's plenty of time, it could go either way, and you know, you say that UEA, they're back in this, then Loughborough, they start pushing for you. Say Loughborough, they're streaking away, and UEA, again, they're proving they can still compete. Turbo wants to pinch your teammate. That has got some power on it, but it's not going to be a teammate right from there. Instead, Stamina just to the pass back. But Eclat Macca's now down to Snipe. The link up on UEA's offense can be deadly. Snipe wants to go all the way. Eclat now. The drop back again. Ant-Man with the shot. That's going to be off the bar. Somehow it wasn't going in. Ant-Man again looking for any sort of teammate. Snipe can ping this up and easy enough clearance, but it's a waiting Eclat Macca's off the side. Will want a teammate. There will be a demo in the midfield as well, which means that Crookie could have a double, but no. Snipe off to the side, clearing pressure, but only for a short period of time. Ant-Man again called into action on this goal line. Stamina with this ball wants any sort of touch to a teammate. No. A great clear downfield. Turbo has to get a touch. And he can't. Oh my goodness, we're seeing this. There's only been a few in the series, but they've proved to be absolutely horrific for the team that's pulling them out. And oh my god, well, Snipe again anticipates the miss and works with it, gets that goal with 15 seconds left, which is a great turnaround from UEA. They've kept their heads up and now they're ahead.
I've not seen a lot of luck in front of goal so far this series, but brace in game number 4 with just 15 seconds to go. Could see them tie it up, where at one point Loughborough looked like they were very much on top. They had a 2-goal lead off the back of a 6-1 win, and they've kept this alive here. 0 seconds on the clock, looking for the equaliser. Cookie's got that middle snipe, a big clear, and Turbo just seemingly out of position. Maybe thought someone was behind him to take that. It does go down. UEA do take it, but it comes with some more Loughborough mistakes.
I'm seeing 9 shots from Snipe right now. I did not realize there were that many. Like, he was all over that. Oh my goodness. 9 shots. What's that? 14 for the UEA side as opposed to 8 from Loughborough? That is ridiculous. Almost double your opponent's shots, only winning by 1. Snipe had 9 shots, 5 saves, 2 goals, and the assist, 100% goal participation, keeping them alive, giving them every single chance and more in that game. It's a phenomenal game for as well. The turnaround, either they're put in a 3-1 position, or just like they did, manage to turn it around, put them on even footing now with their opponents. And again, it's so hard to predict who's going to win game on game. They've somehow traded games in this, gone back and forth in these first 4, even after the dominant streaks that we've seen from Loughborough. UEA just proving time and time again you cannot count them out. Lower bracket run from the upper bracket, no matter who they're facing. They are so good.
When these two teams met, it went all the way to game 7. We're now in game 5, and they're all tied up. Massive game on Wasteland Night ahead. Stamina has given that away. Snipe with an early flick. Crookie again, so good today for Loughborough Lions. Plays it smart, deals with an immediate problem. That on the turn. Dunked by Stamina. Lovely little catch to take him infield. Nice ball. Oh, it's an own goal. I mean, he puts it into a fantastic area. You're looking for Turbo to carry on to that one, but it makes UEA deal with that ball. Unfortunately, they do not do so.
I think both touches from the defense, obviously that second defender was the own goal. I feel like that first touch was going in anyway off the post, but yeah, I love the placement. I love the idea of looking for your teammate even through all that traffic, and well, it turned out pretty good for them. They got the goal in the end, no matter what means they did. And again, this just kept Stamina, wants to hold on to this. Not much boost, but he's got some space to work with. Now gets the 100 and maybe a touch to a teammate. No, not immediately. Like Mackers with a nice clear, but Crookie off to the side awaiting Turblo. Taken away, Snipe with a great 50. Actually, that's going to be a miss from Crookie. Rare, but could be prolific if it's not dealt with. And again, Turblo unable to collect this ball. Ant-Man with the drop down. Ant-Man with the equalizer. 90 seconds into this, and we've seen a goal at either end of the pitch now. This is great. There were a few mistakes here from Loughborough, but we're going to see the demo from Eclat, and then just that chip down from Ant-Man after the pass as well. Meaning there's one defender there, should have been two, but easy enough placing that round and finding the gap, finding that equalizer. A great play from UEA. They still want to stay relevant.
Yeah, physicality has brought them back into this one. It's not a bad route to go down. Snipe running out of boost, tries to land on Cookie. You know what? This time around, man close to make the touch. He's got no boost left at the time. Only force Cookie high, flip reset, shot easy in the end for Eclat to deal with. Turbo back from the wall. Eclat there again to shot down. Cookie, the pinch. It looked like it took a nick off of a UEA player there as well, and goes just about high, but seemed everything in the kitchen sink kind of play. Cookie with a big miss, not one that we're used to see from him. Snipe with a shot, and Turbo this time saved. It's end-to-end stuff here, and neither team looks particularly comfortable.
And usually such a clinical player is Crookie. A couple of misses, they haven't led to goals immediately, but they've turned into plays that have been dangerous or resulted eventually in goals. Now again, underneath almost everyone is that attempt by UEA. Stamina misses this. Turblo has to recover instead, and there will be enough time just to get some space and get some boost for the Loughborough players. Now UEA, they're on full court press. They want this touch, they want the ball, they've got the speed and the boost as well to keep this pressure up. What can they do? Well, Eclat can take this high. Round one, maybe a second off the ceiling. This could be amazing. No, he misses, so does Ant-Man. Unfortunate not to put that through. But Snipe's going to stay with it again off the ceiling. They're going high to bring it right back low, trying to confuse Loughborough. Again, opportunity there. It's somehow a one-all game. It seems like it's been so much higher scoring, all the offense, all the pressure that we've seen so far. Oh my goodness, what a thriller this is turning out to be.
Draw it high, play it slow, force them to use the boost that they have left, take advantage from there. So close this time around. Great idea from Eclat. The execution not quite where it needed to be though. Too intelligently read by Cookie at the other end. Eclat would have to pick up from his own corner. Ant-Man with the catch, pops high, looking for the pinch, high into the wall, and Turbo has to rotate back, allows Stamina to come in. His touch is great. Snipe with a shot, bounces it low, wide of the mark. Cookie will make the clear. He's still under pressure here from Eclat. Gets a bump, give himself some space. Not great from Ant-Man either. Turbo to control, not a great shot either from him. Just a little bit too tentative. Someone's got to push the boat out here. Ask the question. They do just that. Great flick from side. Eclat sends it home. UEA 2-1 up.
Eclat again hasn't always been the one scoring. He sets some stuff up, but finally gets himself in that goal column for good this time instead. Enough with the assist, with the off-field, off-play demos. No, gonna find the space, be given the ball, and slot it home again, giving UEA the lead. And now they're leading in a Game 5 of a tied series best of 7. Something that I was not expecting to say at any point this series. It's definitely not after the first game or two, and Snipe working this downfield. It's just a clock management game for UEA now. They're in their own half. Stamina's shot could be lethal, but no, not quite. Eclat again has this off the sidewall, maybe no. Turbo looks to have a touch, can't quite read it. Now back to Snipe. Ant-Man could be there. Stamina's picked this off, and UEA, they've gone for an idea. It was read to perfection. Stamina waiting in the backfield. What an intercept, what a downfield shot first time as well. And with 12 seconds left again, we are tied.
great idea in most situations. But with 12 seconds left, up by a goal, and your teammate's not quite ready to deal with an interception. It's a huge mistake there from UEA and Snipe in particular. Epa has to deal with this one. This could still end in regulation. Stamina to the backward, dribble into the crossbar. It's a huge save there from Snipe. Makes up for his mistake and sends us to overtime.
I'm not sure how that was converted. It seemed like such an assuring thing. It wasn't quite stamina. We're going to call that a fake going for the bump instead. That's what they want to say. It will look better on the replay. Now Snipe, boost balls and spacing, exactly what you want for this counter-attack here. Gets the opponent's boost as well to try and start them on their goal line. But Crookie, the great flick over one and round the second now, a one-on-one. Is he going to go past everyone? No, Snipe with this save, and again, stamina. Now taking us to the opponent's box, but a great clear by Snipe has done amazing things this game. UEA, a fast counter-attack from them. Crookie showing them right back at UEA players. He's bouncing around the midfield, no one able to get really a handle on this ball, no one able to start an attack quite yet. It's looking dangerous from both sides.
Goes high to the booster, and Cookie reads that, does so. Impact sends that one high once more. Stamina catches on the backboard, opts to play low. He gives Ant-Man just a little bit too much liberties. We'll take it away from him, back into that corner. Eclat, no boost, gets the flick, gets a bump on Stamina. It was a demo. Snipe on the follow, can't force it through, just a little bit too late, and it's that problem that UEA have been having again this series. They've improved on it, but sometimes where it really matters, second man presence just lacking where it needs to be. Now the counter on Stamina, looking for a 50-50 through Snipe. Gets more on the ball and will take it away. Danger not cleared. Cookie tries to play it so. Gets 50-50 by Ant-Man. He's on the side wall. He gets to a second. Will he do a third? He's popped it up high. Snipe's going to wait as two commit. They have time to reset here. Maybe a chance for UEA going begging once more. Nearly 2 minutes played in overtime. Eclat to drop side to show, and it's wide. No follow from Ant-Man. Playing it safe this time around. Third man not willing to give it up down the other end.
Somehow the Tino got bewildered at the fact that no one's able to get goals. They had shot opportunities and then converting those shots, but no, the saves. And the Prince has been so good. Snipe again has to get a save. Another of so many this series. Crookie wants the shot. That's the player Mackers putting this one away, and now off the sidewall. It's still going to be in a dangerous position. Once this is going to be charged down by Turbo, who can keep it in the opponent's box. Maybe Crookie's there. Crookie sneaks it under. Stamina not going to be close enough. Eclat Mackers passed, not quite past Stamina. He now has this ball in his own corner. Snipe pushing it forward. Ant-Man waiting as well. Now Eclat Mackers should be the third in. That's going to be high and wide. No one able to get that through. Now Turbo down the field can regain through this, and again it's going to come back. Crookie wants the shot. That's going to be too high and too wide as well. No one put this to bed. 3 minutes of overtime, and it's going to be so intense. I cannot believe these shots we're seeing. The pressure these players must be feeling as they just struggle for a goal. The go-ahead goal of this series in a thrilling overtime.
I have to wonder just how much of an impact that goal could have moving into game number 6. We'd already put one of these two teams on series point, but a lengthy overtime, losing that and having to win 2 games in a row is going to be so hard. But how about that read from Eclat? He puts UEA 1 away from the grand final from that rematch with a waterfall double that Crookie could not handle.
That is amazing. The UEA net has been peppered by those top right-hand shots all series long. Crookie was the one dishing them out. Now Eclat, giving him a taste of his own medicine, can slot that one down. What a read. That is so phenomenal from him. He's got the mechanics, he's got that top level experience, and he's going to be showing it there as well. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. And UEA, they're on series point here. Somehow we could have a game 7 for the 3rd time between these two best of 7 matchups, and I would love nothing more. UEA are playing phenomenally to come back from the deficit that Loughborough have put them in time and time again. Loughborough, though, you have to imagine they've still got something up their sleeve. That is the only time there has been 2 games won in a row this series so far, as game 6 I can only assume has even more wonders in store for us.
And the going gets tough. The tough gets going. How tough are Loughborough Lions? Got back into this game 5 through a mistake. Unable to capitalise in the end to come to Neo Tokyo. It has to be nigh on perfect from them in the next 10 minutes of Rocket League, starting with game 6. Down in the series, out of lives. Not quite out of luck yet. Turbo has to play that ball high. Ifa gets the flip reset, looking for the double tap. Taken away from him by Stamina. No doink there this time around. Turbo challenge by Ant-Man as they try to pile pressure on, keep it in this left-hand corner. Gets it on here, Ifa. He gets a double off the ceiling, air dribble, draws in 2. But also a little bit of a double commit from Snipe. He's Ant-Man just has to send the ball away, doesn't want to be caught in possession. A missed touch from 2 players there. Turbo cutting in, manages to avoid the demo and gets round Snipe. Cookie to take over. Round Ifa. Ant-Man pops high, takes it over Stamina, leaves it off for Ifa. It's awkward, it's messy, and it doesn't quite go home. First minute comes and goes in game 6. Scoreless, but all UEA.
Z-Clat has that well. He's one of the best ones players in the country, if not continent. But when he has these opportunities to work with a team, it's even better. And we're seeing it here, linking up, being able to dish out these passes, all be on the receiving end of them. Really some wonders going down, and now working on downfield. Snipe wants to get on the end of it as well. No one able UEA to get a touch now. Snipe working round again. A great 50. No one from UEA on this immediately. Stamina works downfield. Equal over 1. Snipe gets in the end. A great 1-2. Well, that's not going to be in purple against the save. A phenomenal one at that goal line. Keep it out and keep this game left.
So hard to separate these two teams at times. T-Pack, time in the corner, picks up that boost as well. That could be a valuable steal in the grand scheme of things. Turbo on the half flip, flicks high, and beats into it, but gives Stamina some time to pick out the ball. Hits it through E-flat as well, wants to pass it back. Hookie's so close to the dunk there, but Ant-Man reads it well, plays it away from him, sends UEA back on offense. Touch comes into the middle for E-flat. Hookie to clear. It's a double tap on the wall as well. And Ant-Man, it's just a fight for possession here at the moment. I haven't had particularly many shots recently, but both teams toe to toe, trying to just get that little bit of control that they need. Drive forward, get the opening goal on this one. Efat, oh, he's baited in Cookie there, who's fallen for it. He's gone to fast flip reset. Stamina again there to make the save. Had a quieter series than he did last week, but where it's mattered, he stepped up to the plate, keeps it scoreless once more, and they're going to have to do it again as Eclat comes forward. Crookie on the line to turn it away to that corner. Snipe picks it up, and Crookie again will challenge UE. So close to getting the go-ahead goal for themselves, but just can't seem to break through. It's all them. Loughborough need to start doing something down the other end, and Turbo may just, he's got the goal against the run of play. 124, Loughborough lead.
Somehow that's the opening goal. We've got less than 90 seconds left, and only one in. Turbo, who was, at least to me, being an unsung hero this series, hasn't actually had that many opportunities to, have his praise said on stream. He's been doing everything on and off the ball, but again, looking for that shot there, who can instead set it up for Crookie. That initial miss, but the miss from the defenders as well. I mean, once Turbo gets the assist, Crookie nestles at home again. The star striker for both sides in this series has been Crookie and put this one in, and now a comfortable 2-goal margin. Anything more than this to put them in a very desirable position to send this to Game 7, which is what we all want, or still definitely mountable. Not anymore. Not anymore. You assume 3 goals now, 75 seconds. Surely. And I'm not sure what's happened there. Just an unfortunate challenge from Ant-Man wanting to push this one upfield, but no. Stamina sees what's going to happen, sees the positioning. of the opponent's car, a decimating 50. And oh my goodness, this could be another champion field, the third in a row for these rosters. Oh my goodness, what is this?
That is 4 goals in 16 seconds from Loughborough, and that's the best one yet. Turbo, quick to the ceiling, quicker than Snipe, in off the crossbar. Not a chance for UEA. Save that one, or to save game 6, you would surely say by now that we are heading to Champions Field. Krookie looking for a 5th to really pile on the misery, and Stamina with another shot. It is all of a sudden being turned to 11 by Loughborough Lions. Turbo with a big challenge on ETHAT, just shuts down any real opportunity of a comeback, requiring a goal every 10 seconds. Not gonna happen. The Stamina looks to drop. ETHAT with a clear, and Krookie just piles the pressure on once more, looking for a double. Not got the boost or the angle, but it's wasting so much time away. And Oxy, first series of the night, we're going to game 7.
I love nothing more. You know, the level that these teams have found is ridiculous. Most cars, they've got 5 or 6 years. These cars seem to have at least 8 or 9 or something. The just level of play we're seeing, the consistency, the power of the shots, the reading, every single aspect of the series has been amazing. Any minor weakness from the opponent spotted and pounced on immediately. Observation. I'm loving every second of this. Loughborough, they win game 6, managing to stop the streak from UEA, and like you said, it's Champions Field, it's a game 7. It is exactly what you want in a best of 7.
It looked all so even. It looked good for UEA. 10 shots from them in game number 6. Just could not find a way through. 7 saves from Loughborough. So 3 really unanswered for, but still wouldn't have been enough. 16 seconds it took to dismantle UEA. Take Loughborough to game 7 again between these two teams. Will Loughborough come out on top this time around, or will UEA get their rematch against Roehampton? 5 minutes left to find out in this lower bracket final. And only one team can come out a grand finalist.
It's going to be tough. Both teams need to find at least 110% energy, and then they've got to do it twice more if they want to win the entire thing. Don't worry about down the line, worry about right now. And Krookie with Stamina combining on their back line again over Snipe here. Ant-Man going to be aerial, has this touch now. Turbo having to be caught into action. Eclatmacus goes around everyone, and that's a great go-ahead goal. 20 seconds in, round 2 players. Eclatmacus again showing everyone he can do it all. He's got the mechanics, he's got the patience, and he had the boost and ball to do it too.
But as good a mental reset as you could ask for with that one. 20 seconds gone after a 4-0 defeat in game 6. Eclatmacus putting UEA back on level terms, and Snipe so close to not making that save. Turns it onto the crossbar, keeps that lead intact.
Again, only a few seconds have gone in this first minutes, and Eclatmacus wants a second. He wants the second. He can't. Ant-Man wants the second for his team. And again, it's kept away with the save. So good on offense, but when he's caught into action on defense, he can do just exactly what is needed. Now, Eclatmacus down the field, wants the 50, gets it, but he pops up to the side instead. Now, Krookie on the side. Snipe needs one touch. What a pinch. That's not going to be in those. Stamina, the reasoning for that. Now, Turbo working this downfield over 1, maybe round 2nd in Eclatmacus, but Ant-Man 7, keeping this away from his box at least momentarily. Krookie now over 1, Reaver round 2, Snipe just thinks that off the roof of his car, keep it away now. Snipe again, round and Stamina, in a one-on-one, no, wants to pass central, but Stamina can read this. Krookie could be there as well there. Jostling possession, someone needs a strong touch, and it will be Snipe that comes away with it.
By Snipe. Turbo gets a really good 50-50 there. Ant-Man opts to take over from Snipe. A little bit awkward in the rotation. A little bit scary for UE there. They're really under threat. They've dealt with it for the time being. Ant-Man with a pinch off his own backboard. bobbles its way round Crookie. Any pressure they hope to have, Loughborough has crumbled apart. Snipe, looking for a slight infield touch to Eclat. Did find himself backwards, but managed to keep that one. Oh, that's a great pass across for Snipe. Opts not to take the bite at it. They're being patient here. UEA up by a goal in game number 7. They don't want to throw too much at this and give up a silly counter. Waiting for that moment to strike. Stamina will deny them that for now. Rookie to the backboard, nice and high. It's easier for Snipe to deal with. Drives right up, gets the clear. That's a miss from Turbo on E-Flat. Stamina, and only 15 middle. Rookie now to the sidewalk. Snipe under pressure. He won't take any chances, just sends that one clear. Just over 2 minutes to go now in game number 7. It's still UEA in the driving seat. In terms of scoreline, that can so quickly go wrong, as we have seen in the late stages before in this series.
Say the comeback at any point, 16 seconds before going in the last game, that's going to be a record, if not one of the records. And well, Stamina wants the counter attack, even just 1 or 2 goals. They don't need that trail of 4 that they managed to get themselves last game. No, it's all about game 7. It's all about right here and right now. What can they do? Well, they've got 90 seconds to prove they deserve to be in that grand final. Brookie needs to save, and you'll get it now for Stamina again. These two combining time and time again. Stamina round 1, maybe 2, the 50. Now it's Crookie who wants to go up. He's going to bait in that initial jump. I love the idea, but Ant-Man can read it. Enough players from UEA back now. Eclat back with this drop down. The bump over 1 and the bump onto the second player as well. Stamina. And nice clearing again. Try and get down that 1 win, that 1 minute mark. 0 seconds looms ever so closer, and that grand final beckons to UEA and let Loughborough do something about it.
Not quite quick enough. UEA doing everything to shut down Loughborough as they look for another late equaliser in this series. Stamina's up. Eclat gets 50-50. It drops favourably for Crookie. Stamina's in that corner. Can he get across the net? Doesn't make contact with the ball. Eclat looked like he had it covered, and maybe Stamina just opting to not commit everything to that. If that comes off Eclat any harder, it pings right back down into the blue half. They find themselves here anyway, but more set up, more time, more boost on the ball, but time itself is ticking away. 10 seconds now. That's all that's required for UEA to hold on. It's in their corner. Turbo and Crookie have double commit. That's in field to Stamina. It's popped on net. Ant-Man high, clears, has time, has possession, gets the dunk further down. Crookie keeps this one alive. Snipe with a shot on net. Crookie once more there. It's still up. Turbo has to play it. Bumps and is dunked. UEA sent Loughborough out once more in game number 7. They will get their rematch. They will go to the grand final, and Loughborough go home.
Loughborough and UEA with game 7. It just seems to be UEA. They always go to game 7 against this side, but they always manage to come away with the win. Now we turn to UEA and Roehampton. Such a fabled matchup. We've seen it time and time again, and we'll get to see it at least for one more best of 7. But Loughborough, before we start focusing on that grand final, what a fight from Loughborough. It's a shame they went out like that. They seemed so dominant. They had patches of several. They got a 6-1 game. They had 4 goals in 16 seconds. They had some amazing play from a team that you don't necessarily expect to make the finals or a top 3 to do that, and to be top 4 last time, top 3 this time. It's great. It's a great showing from them, and they seem so good. It's a shame to see them go out like that.
Yeah, a long old run for themselves in that lower bracket, taking out Rockin' Tears, Lincoln A, and then falling short against UEA Blue Jays. Loughborough finish up 3rd in the playoffs in spring of 2023. UEA going back to the grand final, having to take down Roehampton twice to crown themselves champions. We are going to go to a break, but don't go anywhere. We will be back very, very soon for that long awaited grand final. You're really not going to want to miss this one.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Good evening and welcome back to the final day of Newell Spring 2023. We're in the grand final. Two teams remain: Roehampton from the upper bracket, UEA after defeating Loughborough just a matter of moments ago, coming in through the lower bracket. A rematch from the upper bracket final just last week. We get to see it all again. I am Solar, joined back by Oxy. How are you feeling after that first series?
It was amazing to watch, to be fair. I was hoping for a game 7, and we got that, and then some more. It was great to see, a phenomenal overtime, players popping off, individual performances, teams ebbing and flowing with momentum, and overall, a great way to start this stream.
And hopefully we get to see it all again. Last time these two teams faced off, of course, as I said last week, that one going all the way to game 7 as well. We've had a lot throughout the bracket, which we can take a look at and just give a full rundown as to how we got to this point. Roehampton making their way through at the top there. Bridger Babes with a sweep. They are very close. Game 7 against Lincoln A, and able to close it out in game 7 as well against UEA Blue Jays, who themselves went through Lancaster and Loughborough twice with a Roehampton game 7 loss in between, bringing them back to this point. It is going to be such an interesting season. I'm going to say it now. I think the fact that UEA have had that game 7 is going to warm them into this one. And I reckon we're going to get a bracket reset out of this series. But after that, I really do think it's going to be Roehampton's to lose.
Yeah. Rather than, predicting who I think will win the first series, I'm just going to outright say I want UEA to win the first series so we can have that bracket reset. We can have more Rocket League, because whether you're a spectator or a caster, maybe not as a player, probably more stressful player, but it's a spectator, caster, anyone enjoying it, it's more fun, that bracket reset. You get more content and you'll see, more highlights. In general, it's more enjoyable, of course. The second series, that bracket reset, like you say, I think Roehampton should have that. UEA, they can maybe get a game or two first. They just, they hit a hot streak towards the end of that last series, a few good games in a row, of course. And yeah, they were looking dominant throughout. Maybe catch Roehampton off guard. And if they can, I'd be surprised to really see Roehampton conceding. Of course, they've came from that upper bracket. Then again, we did see UEA get the bracket reset in the previous split on LAN. Again, different scenario, different environment, different team as well. Actually, you've got Dylan playing instead of Crisis for this split. So, the teams they've matched up before in the past, we've seen game 6s, game 7s plenty of times. I'm sure we'll see some more thrilling Rocket League today.
Roehampton, as we say, without Crisis today. Dylan stepping into his place. So some relatively big shoes to fill in that regard, but regardless, going to make for an exciting grand final coming up. I've got Roehampton in the end, UEA in this first series, but I do just think that, having gone to game 7 against Loughborough, having to get the bracket reset, I think they will just possibly start to run out of steam coming into this one, the more warmed up. But by the time we get to that second best of 7, Roehampton get to be nice and warm and just running on empty in the end, I think, UEA by that point. But it's not up to me to call it. We're just here to talk you through the action. It's all down to the 6 players on the field. It's going to be a tall order for UEA, looking for that revenge over Roehampton. And again, they have to win 2 series, such as the nature of the double elimination. Roehampton just need to win 1 of 2, effectively 4 games, whereas you're looking at double that for UEA. So already up against it, but anything can happen in a game of Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, Roehampton are also just capable to come on the pitch against UEA, who have just played, a nail-biting series, and just close this out in 1, realistically. That they're a team, they're a squad that have had so much success in the past, whether it be, domestically in the UK or, internationally in Europe, various competitions. And yeah, they could have this done, in a matter of minutes, in less than an hour. A sweep, unrealistic, but they could get it done in 6. I could see, Roehampton is just that strong. It's difficult to work it out, of course. If you've seen Roehampton, you'll know Yotampton is, they've been called that before. He is obviously the, most likely the best player on that team on most given days. That does change around, of course. They do have different play styles. You'll be looking to shut him down if you are UEA or any other team, but as we've seen, they haven't managed yet. They were almost flawless in the group stage, in the Swiss stage coming into this. And then, of course, in this bracket, no one able to stop them. A few nail-biting Game 7s, but if they can clutch up then, I don't see why they can't now.
Absolutely. And, of course, the winner of the grand final qualifies for the University Esports Masters. But
I think it actually is already Roehampton, because UEA won the last split. They already qualified, so Roehampton now by default have already qualified to that, which is, of course, different competition. Right now, you've still got saying that you've won this. UEA, they're going for the back to back, as well as you've got money, and as university students, something that is major. Bragging rights, basically, over fellow Rocket League players that they'll be relatively close friends with, maybe some grudges, some rivalries, but they're going to talk to these players. And if you can, go into another competition and say, oh, but we beat you then twice or 3 times in a row or something like that, that's a major thing. It's bragging rights, getting your opponent's head, just having that record and the confidence as well for various competitions, and knowing, whether renewal or other stuff, knowing that you can take down these teams and these players.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you say, both teams have qualified, but the fact that UEA beat Loughborough means that regardless of result, I do believe Roehampton go to the last chance qualifiers because of UEA's performance in the last split. So, still all to play for in terms of the money, but both teams at least get into the University Esports Masters themselves. A little bit of delay as we had an issue with, I think it was
some tech issue, doesn't matter. The Rocket League's back on. The main event is here. Oh my goodness, what a flick to start off with. High and mighty is that flick, but no, he's like Macca's booming downfield. JSW gonna miss that already. Eclair follows up on his own clear, and just like the previous Game 7, in less than 20 seconds, Eclair smacks it downfield, clears this. Dylan missing as well, actually, and easy enough, taps it through. A 1-goal lead for UEA.
Just like we were talking about leading into this series, it seems as though UEA coming in the hotter of the two. A couple of wins in the backfield from Roehampton. Find themselves down by a goal early on. Eclair already getting heavily involved. Does have himself the opener, causing some problems. Any advance from Roehampton side, a strong 50-50 that bounces off the bottom ramp up into the ceiling and across the field. Strong 50-50 from the two. This time Snipe closes out and waiting at the back post will clear off to his near side. Yota has got round Eclat, that's dropped in front, and then JSW turns it on. How is Ant-Man kept that one out? 75% over the line and denied.
The attempt at a double touch by JSW, he was immediately cleared out after getting that first boom onto the backboard, but oh my goodness, Ant-Man, not the first goal line save we've seen from him today, and if anything, I'm sure he'll be wanting them slightly further away from the net, but if push comes to shove, I'm sure he can manage a few more nail biters to help the team out, to make sure they can secure this win now. Sniping JSW again, another 50, that's forced. Just central whiz power as well, Yotam.
downfield, but Ant-Man booming it right back over his head. JSW looking to the side for a teammate. Snipe can cut this out. Dylan with a great carry, actually stops almost all momentum and keeps going forward. Has a bit of boost, and Ant-Man puts it to the side. Yotam stays with her. A nice shot, but that's going to be just a bit too wide. Dylan able to turn around in time, and JSW going for another 50. Looks like Roehampton a bit too bunched up. They're going to have to disperse and make sure they can reset their rotations. Dylan attempt at a clear, but that's not going to be happening. Oh my goodness, no one is back at all. What has happened to the Roehampton defense there, or lack thereof? The Snipe can just shoot that all the way through. Oh, JSW just, flipped downfield a bit too much. I'm not entirely sure if he thought it was going to be a miss. He was waiting for a teammate to touch, but you know, he does, and that is an open net. Easy enough to put through and easy enough to get that 2-goal lead.
Yeah, it looked like he was thinking about going up for it. I think he would have been beaten regardless. Dylan! Oh! That is an incredible flip reset into the double tap. Looked like he'd gone far too wide to get to that. How does he get back around and send that home?
How? What have we just seen? Look, disregard the whiff he made earlier or the teammate mistakes. No, keeping this game is still relatively close, within one, not even halfway through. We've seen some great goals already, some great plays, and well, a 2-1 game now. Both teams capable of scoring, and Roehampton do so with style there. Another good clear for Eastlight easy enough, shooting that one right back at the opponents. Now Dylan onto the halfway mark, round everyone again. Ant-Man has to get back in another phenomenal box save there. That's going to be on target. Easy save for him. So versatile around every part of the pitch. Now Snipe, round one, round a second. It's going to be only Yotam back, but Yotam, the anchor of this team, clears this out. Dylan going to get the demo on Eclat Mackers, who can no longer go for this follow-up. Now Yotam wants the same, and no, JSW also over him. Dylan scoops this one up, puts it into the box, looking for a teammate, looking for anything. Ant-Man 7 will not let that happen.
And
what?
Turns it into offense as when again Roehampton just not where they need to be. JSW, it's another big miss. 3 of them have come, and every single time UEA have gladly taken the resulting goal. Roehampton architects their own downfall in game 1 despite a moment of sheer brilliance from Dylan to pull them back into this game. Let it slip once more.
Look, I mean, the pros for Roehampton right now is they know what they need to do to stop conceding. The issue is they can't stop doing it. They keep making these mistakes, whether it's leaving the goal open, you know, just by lack of rotations or a misplay, you know, hitting the wrong key or the wrong button on whatever input they're using. Like Mackard actually kicking this one out of the air. JSW tries to get that one back, but no, now Yotam over a second maybe. Ant-Man, a great clear. So phenomenal is Ant-Man as that third player on the pitch, looking for the dunk. JSW can't quite get it, and look to recuperate some of the goals that he's given away potentially for his team. It is a team game though, so they're all to take the blame, take the credit either way, as long as they can work together and eventually get the amount of games and the series win where it is that they need to be taking home the goal.
Needs to start in their own half for Roehampton,
like
and
that.
Just about squeeze that one home. Yotam too hot to handle for Eclat Mackers, who tracked that one back down from the ceiling quicker than Ant-Man and unable to be denied. They're back within one. It does have to start at home. They have to keep it tight at the back. The mistakes that they're making are costing them here. They could be 2-0 up, but just simple things letting them down and nearly level anyway. The JSW denied on the line. 20 seconds to go. Yotam up for the double, and it's home. They're level. Roehampton with 19 seconds to go. Right back in game number 1.
Yotam is the star player. Saw what Dylan did earlier, not quite able to reciprocate the brilliance, but still a great double touch to again put his team now not only 1 goal behind, instead over an even game. 19 seconds left. We were getting towards some real red clock there, and as Dylan pushes this downfield action, it's going to be because Ant-Man that couldn't quite get the read from this now. Central Eclat Mackers, sturdy as always with this ball. Demoed though, taking out the pitcher for I think the 3rd time this game.
No, Roehampton just don't want to deal with him. Now Yotam up again. He wants the demo. No, Eclat keeps this away. That's great. This rocket zero the ball. Yet hit the floor. No, Dylan wants that down. Doesn't believe in the touch he has there, and instead calls for overtime. First of many, I assume, in this series, in this marquee matchup between these two Goliaths. Dylan wants the shot. That's going to be only just wide.
I have to wonder who's kicking themselves more at this point. Well, it might be after the game is settled, but Roehampton could quite easily have taken this game and would be a little tighter. On defence, they take it anyway. Yeah, pinch there from Eclat with JSW. UEA from the position that they're in have lost that game in incredible fashion, just collapsed towards the end and couldn't deal with the pressure of overtime.
I didn't see it on the pinch. I just thought that was directly put into the own net, but I think that was coming off Eclat Mackers, and because it glanced off him, it was going that so much faster that whoever was in net there just couldn't quite get the read and get to that ball in time, ultimately leading to that goal going in. Roehampton, a bit lucky, some would say. I'm looking at the scoreboard though. 3 shots for them, for UEA, as opposed to the, what was that, 15, I think, for Roehampton. So a lot more pressure going for them, just collapsing in their own box, in their own defensive third, when the ball was there. So as long as they can clean that up, hopefully no more shaky overtimes, no more having to come back from 2 or 3 goal deficits like they just had to do that.
1-0 up in the series, and for a period of time looked like they were going to lose that game through no fault but their own. Managed to salvage victory from the jaws of defeat. 1-0 up in the series. We have to go into action on defence there again. Dylan carry area. Actually got round. That's a big mistake there from Snipe. Just rushes across, free flip, loses all control of his car and any real chance of denying that one. And UEA just continue to fall further down.
You assume these players aren't nervous. They've been in these positions before. They're experienced enough and they're good enough that nerves aren't quite there. They're just making mistakes. I'm not entirely sure why. Oh my goodness, it makes up in the defensive third for Roehampton there. And yeah, somehow we're seeing just a few mistakes, a few whiffs, not quite getting the right reads, and it's leading to goals on both ends of the pitch now. So, like you raised the question, who's kicking themselves more? Well, it seems like both teams got their issues, but Roehampton, they'll be happy enough with where they are now. They got the first goal in this game as well as the ultimate win in the previous, so Eclat Mackers and the rest of UEA have to pull something out the bag here if they want to be back in this series. Only a minute down or so, but Japan looking for the second goal, looking to put his team in a good position. Not quite able to there, and Dylan as well. He's been good, not always part of the rotation for Roehampton, but Dylan slotting in very nicely in recent history. So again, you can push this downfield, and that's actually an open net. JSW.
Oh, he's got to score.
At Eclat Mackers somehow. That's not even Eclat. Eclat just fell onto that, and like you said, got to score somehow. This stays a 1-0 game.
A little too relaxed. A little cocky there from JSW. Should be ready in that one. And they nearly suffered for it at the other end. That would have been a tied game. Yotam with a big save, saving JSW from any blushes. He had a couple really in game number 1 as well. Dylan with a shot. Oh, he nearly picks out the bottom corner again. Snipe caught out of position, gets away with it this time, but once more, Roehampton so close to doubling their lead.
There's opportunities, and even though they've only actually put themselves up by 1, they had so many more shots last game. Oh my goodness, so many shots this game as well. UEA not quite the same offensive pressure, just threat of something developing here and there. Eclat Mackers moving that a bit too hard. Yotam can stay with this. Dylan's looking for demos, but ultimately the ball carrier stripped of possession now. JSW plants that one over to Dylan, who can't quite get this. JSW again off to the other side of the pitch now, and Snipe once more getting on the end of a road touch by the Roehampton player now. Dylan pushing downfield, has a bit of boost and enough to get round 1. Maybe the second, no, the follow-up will not be there. The double tap not quite coming to fruition. Snipe off to the side, and 2 minutes left in this game now. Only 1 goal gone in. Could be a second if Dylan can cherry pick. Not quite. That would have been magical. Instead, JSW in the rest of their hands. They just want to keep the ball, keep possession, hopefully get themselves at least another goal or two.
Well, that midfield line relatively well. Nice pressure. It's a decent line for timing. They've run down the clock, but unable to extend the lead any further. Keep it tight so that it causes too much problems. England looking to turn things in the favour of UEA. The double tap denied. No attempt to even make contact beyond the lines from the backboard. JSW has to play high. Eplat get there. Ant-Man does. He'll come last man. Starts to launch the ball high. Ant-Man will whiff. But will be up for now. Snipe plays the ball forward. Yotam. Oh, there's a demo in the backfield actually. JSW won.
Oh, he did, thank goodness.
It's incredible. I thought, yeah, Yotam almost looked like he'd passed that up. 2 goals to the good anyway, but not quite as comfortable as it could have been.
Snipe was dancing on the sidewall there as well. It was skimmed past Eclat Mackers in the corner. Snipe not quite getting, I think it's a fumbled recovery or fumbled wave dash, chain dash, something like that. Yeah, Yotam forces it downfield again. Another bounce actually at Matt. Has to get a nice touch here, and well, this could be a third. Oh my goodness, that was nearly the own goal of the century. It was so much power on it, but no, ricochets off the bar, and it'll just go down as a nice save instead. Snipe working with it, doesn't have any boost in the tank right now, but still the ball looking for a pass central. Yotam now off to Dylan, can't get it, and oh my goodness, that Mac and JSW going head to head once more. A great bump from the play. This is going to be pinged upwards. JSW gets the touchdown field. Dylan wants something into the corner as well. Who's going to be there? It'll be Yotam. No, instead wants to retreat. Respect to Macca's touch a bit too much, and now these 2 players again bunches in the corner. Yotam won't go for this. Drop down to JSW to get this just downfield. A few seconds left in this game, and actually it seems like Roehampton have managed to scab their way into a second game. They've snuck their way back in the first one and just quietly as well advanced their lead in this game to the point where the clock's down, and that is a 2-0 lead to Roehampton somehow. Well, I wasn't expecting a 2-0 here at the very least, and it's interesting to really see that UEA, they were so dominant in the first series we saw today, and yeah, unfortunately not quite able to get anything working in this iteration. Instead, Roehampton up by 2. The shots there as well for Roehampton, just way more dominant. UEA, they had opportunities. There were a few mistakes from both sides there. Roehampton not quite as much as the first game, but it looks good. As long as they can force this forward, they should still be in a strong position. They can still come back. Of course, they've forced reverse sweeps before. They've stopped them, like I mentioned earlier. So UEA, you cannot count them out at any point here.
2-0 down in the series, but have shown some signs of life. Shut out in game number 2 though, and arguably a little bit gifted goals in game number 1. So I want to see more from them. They're a very, very good team. You can't exactly count them out. As you said, they've taken Roehampton to game 7 before the spring 2023 campaign. It's up to them. See if they can do it again, maybe even close it out in 6. Have to start by getting game number 3 to lose this one. Best of 7 reverse sweep is such a tall order. It does not happen very often at all. You're really, really up against it when that becomes the case. Eclat just also let that one roll past and can hand off to Snipe. Plays low, puts a shot towards that bottom left-hand corner. Yotam will deal with it. Dylan with a high pop can be taken by Ant-Man. Snipe looking for a shot. JSW very quick to shut them down before the shot even registers on the scoreboard. Dylan looking for another signature double tap. Now recreate another bit of magic from game number 1. Will be forced to make a save at the other end instead. It's an infield pass to Snipe. Again saved relatively comfortably by Yotam. First minute and a half comes and goes in game number 3. No goal in that time.
from UEA. They're piling on pressure, something they haven't really managed to do previously to a great extent. They've got a few shots on net, but of course they want more just pressure, really force out those saves from the opponents rather than just getting into this blue half, the blue box. That blue goal line and back line of players needs to be threatened. They've been making mistakes of their own accord, but when they're forced into it, that's really when UEA can strike. We saw it last series, Dylan over almost everyone, but no one able to get there for Roehampton. And again, this drop down, popped up by JSW, has to retreat with no boost, meaning it's going to be a tough save if it does fall in his path again. Not much on the back line, enough to just force it out to a waiting Dylan, who goes for the shot. Eklutmak is caught out of position, but can get back in time. An epic save recorded, that one nearly on the goal line. Dylan again with a nice touch. I think he got the reset off of that 50 in the air as well. Then this is dropping down, but quite in once more. A battle between these two teams. It could go on for a long, long time. No team able to break the deadlock just yet.
Half of the game played. A long time since the last goal for UEA. You're looking at about 10 minutes. JSW with the read from the corner. He had time on the ground to pick out where it was going, but picking out the top left is still something pretty special.
That is more than special. That is phenomenal. Such a rare occurrence to get an opportunity like that, and then to slot it as well against opponents this good. You rarely get that sort of space, that sort of time, and yet manage to find it and execute to almost perfection. And again, we're going to see a lead. Like we said, UEA, they haven't scored in a long, long time. They're going to need to do it twice in this game at the very least. They want to be putting themselves ahead and not a position where they have to fight a reverse sweep attempt. Dylan, easy enough save for him on the back line. This is falling down again. Ant-Man, the 50 going to be well against him now. Dylan, maybe downfield, wants to double tap again. That's going to be off the crossbar. Good idea, execution. Be a bit too difficult for the angle he was presented with.
You can see that Roehampton are full of confidence now that they've got through that game number one. A shaky performance from them where they went down 3-1. And that one, oh, that's so unlucky for Yotam. Ant-Man forced it home with just enough on it, but look how close Yotam is to denying that one. I think he had, but the follow through turns it back into his own net. And you'd have to say UEA for a long, long time didn't get anything through their own merit. That one there is, and they're level in game 3.
That is more than deserved. They've had hard work. They've given themselves opportunities and finally able to use one of those. It was a golden opportunity and they could strike with just over a minute left at the time of that goal going in. Tying themselves up in this game. It's so imperative that they can win this, like you said. To lose game 3 just like 1 and 2. Disheartening to say at the least, but also such a difficult scoreline to fight back from. Snipe with a nice clear act. Into a cycle of some sort off the backboard just to get the clearance. Eklutmak is now with possession, flicked over one, something he's so good at, feared for, I'd say. And Ant-Man again off the side. JSW is waiting, collects this, wants to bounce over, but no. Snipe booms it downfield and wants to chase as well. The shot won't be there, instead blocked by a blue defender. Eklutmak is in this corner wall looking just to be that playmaker downfield. Now JSW chases and Snipe has to do something. His backline either side able to get a goal should secure them this game, otherwise we've got another overtime on our hands.
Seconds left in that orange half. Eklutmak does enough to keep the ball away from the net immediately, but there's still a round. Yotam high in the air, time, boost, goes to the backboard, looks for the pancake to drop down, won't happen. Dylan bumped high in the air, a triple commit there from UEA just to ensure that hits the ground. And we have our second overtime of the series. First one lasting 25 seconds going to Roehampton. This second one in game number 3, absolutely imperative that it goes UEA's way. They may well have to count themselves out of this grand final with just 3 games played. Snipe looking for the bump. And just to force that back to Ant-Man as well. Dylan, the 50-50. Eklutmak just got through JSW there. No boost for Yotam. Will pick up from the corner, but he's grounded and has to give possession over Ant-Man. He forces a save out of Dylan. Snipe comes from the sidewall, looks for the infield.
pass.
E-Clap with a shot. JSW reads it the whole way. Oh, there's a demo in the backfield. Yotam has a chance. He shoots and Snipe will save. Under pressure from JSW, looking for the bump. Stands tall and keeps UEA in it. But for how much longer?
Again, just boom downfield. Dylan collects, able to get over one, but E-Clap going to charge this down. Yotam has to get there. Yotam only just making this one off the post as well. Now JSW instead off the backboard, trying to force this past Snipe. Can and more actually, and E-Clap as well, forced to just retreat. Now taking this to the off-zone backboard. E-Clap Mackers wants to show a bit of that mechanical prowess. Can now JSW pieces to Yotam again, the pop-up. No one's going to be there immediately, but just into this corner wall, there might be a chance. What a great bump, and Ant-Man wants to go for the clearance. Can Dylan demos him for his troubles. Now JSW stays with this. A nice pass central. Yotam doesn't get there immediately. Wants to go to keep this one. Oh my goodness, E-Clap Mack is only just able to get there. If that backflip didn't come out, I thought that would have been almost an assured goal. It's now Dylan again in this corner wall. E-Clap Mack has to force some sort of clearance. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here. Both teams neck and neck. No one really able to get themselves a good opportunity. There's been chances, of course, but the defense just too strong, able to keep these out. JSW now into this orange box, wants the dunk, and that can't happen either. No team able to get the goal here as we've gone over the 2-minute mark now. This boom could be good as long as JSW misses, but no, won't make the same mistake as he did previously in this series. Consistent now and looking stronger both offense.
2:25 now played in overtime. Chances generally going slightly more the way of Roehampton. A snipe shot just wide. E-Clap, the quick challenge on Yotam. Can't force that one through. UEA starting to ramp up here to look to bring this series even remotely back in their favour. They're down by 2, remember. They lose here. Could be all but done. Ant-Man flip reset, nearly squeaking under JSW, gets enough on it. Big challenge from Dylan to keep Snipe from sending it any further, but E-Clap has sent that back towards net. JSW again from the backboard will make the save. 3 minutes played now in overtime. Still, we can't separate the two teams in game number 3 as eventually it comes clear that the boost and the possession is all in favour of UEA at the moment, and Roehampton at the period that they're at are only really able to force it away and buy themselves some time. There hasn't been much extended pressure from themselves as Dylan with a shot and E-Clap forced to make a save from the backboard.
There were chances there, or two opportunities where you said something, say, oh, Roehampton can't quite force anything, and then a shot that looked it could just go in, but no. Too sturdy is the defense from UEA, and again, they'll be tested once more. JSW over 1, but he's going to be cleared out. E-Clap Mack is easy save for a player of his caliber. Now Yotam looking for a teammate instead. Dylan and JSW gonna confuse each other just a little bit. Dylan now forced into an awkward 50 here. Yotam into the corner can get the read, but so can Snipe. Clears this out now. Dylan stays with this once more. Is there a teammate? Doesn't want it. Wants to go all the way himself. E-Clap Mack is so good on this back line now. Man boom downfield. E-Clap Mackers into this corner. Yotam has to get a touch. It will be maybe the pulse as well. The 50 not going to be immediately there, but Dylan off to the side sees a teammate, wants to fake everyone out, goes up with this, has just enough boost in the tank to go for a pass down. Yotam will have the ball. That's going to be off the crossbar. Was going in as well. Just half a second more, that would have been the equalizer. Nearly a full game of Rocket League gone in overtime. 4 minutes 30, approaching that 5, and again downfield. Ant-Man has the save. Dylan with it, over, not enough boost to carry on. Instead, lets E-Clap Mackers feed the ball to a teammate and snipe the 50 in the air. Yotam's well out the picture, but all the UEA players are pushed well downfield. Dylan, easy enough clear. Yotam stays with us, and again, like you say, there's no way to separate these teams. This shot could be the difference, but not quite.
13 shots between Yotam and Dylan. Neither one of them have converted. JSW has another 5, totaling to 80. An incredible 10 minutes of Rocket League from Roehampton alone. I can see another 9 shots between E-Clap and Snipe at the moment. It is end-to-end stuff here on DFH Stadium as UEA still vying for the chance to get back into the series. Dylan with a double tap. It's going to be easy for Snipe to deal with. JSW beaten by Snipe similarly. Yota plays it to the wall. He's going to wait, and it allows Ant-Man to wait. He's got 7 shots himself, so that's 8 shots now, 17, 18 now total for UEA. So fighting tooth and nail, these two teams for control.
What?
Oh, Yotam's done it. 2 players went up, neither could stop him. 5:53 into OT. Roehampton 1 away from being crowned champions of spring 2023.
Was it that difficult to read, or were they expecting a reset? I'm not sure what happened, but the important thing is that after 5.5 minutes of overtime, Roehampton have scored and they've put themselves on entire tournament point. This is ridiculous. The last time these two matched up in the grand final of Newell, UEA took the first 3, then Roehampton managed to force a game 7, and UEA ended up taking it. So there's still a chance, of course. Looking at these shots, like you say, so many for UEA, but they had so many saves as well. They were on the back foot so often. End-to-end stuff, that overtime was ridiculous, and somehow a simple air dribble, just holding a bit of air roll, taking a top corner, couldn't quite read it, and more importantly, the speed on that execution was ridiculous. What a way to finish. They'll be feeling very hyped. Yotam, of course, being arguably that star player for Roehampton, but they all had to combine to be able to do what they just did, and UEA are in such a tough spot right now.
I mean, it is not taking it lightly to say that they are in trouble. I think between Snipe and Ant-Man, just getting a little bit too antsy in the end, trying to deal with that one from Yotam, and Epat just not quite able to get back to make the save. You're looking for one person to force the awkward touch. It's not going to matter. They have reset. Eclat straight off the kickoff. Ant-Man gets the win. Eclat 1-on-1 with Dylan. He's not going to pass up a chance like that.
Yeah, you've got to take that, of course. And well, Eclat seems now just prone. It's more of a habit to get these easy opening goals in the first few seconds, prior to that 30-second mark. And as long as it can be maintained, they're still in a good enough position. You're putting Roehampton in a position where they have to fight to get back in this. Now, they won't feel as stressed, and I doubt complacency is an issue, of course, but it's such a mental game at this point now for UEA more than anything. And as long as they can keep this up, they'll be in a good position.
Another great play.
Keeping it up and more. That is kept well above the defenders. Gets that 50, and now being chased down by 1. Put it over the second. Yotam can't read that. What a great way to go ahead by 2.
Have they found the secret formula to break down Roehampton? 2 flip goals in 27 seconds. 2 steps in what is a marathon to come back in this best of 7. Not only will they have to win 4 games in a row to deny Roehampton the championship of Newell 2023 in the spring, but it will only force a bracket reset. JSW somehow doesn't put that one away. It's an awkward one to take, but bounces down off the crossbar and out, and unable to recover himself from the backboard. No follow-up from Roehampton either. What could have halved the deficit somehow stays out.
There's still opportunities here, of course. Eclat Macca's dangerous as always, so is everyone else in this lobby, and JSW taking this forward, taken away though by Ant-Man. 7 has 1 goal already, once more, same with Eclat Macca's there. Yotam pinching the offside ball down the field. Snipe, a pass straight to JSW. Oh my goodness, I was thinking there's no one in frame, there's no one able to get this forward hand. Just a nice pass to teammate, play this out. No, JSW waiting. Yotam gets assist credit, but really that's going to be all UEA, all that defensive player. And unfortunate to see, of course, now that deficit is half. Now it's only a 1-goal lead, and there's 3.5 minutes left. Anything could happen, and what we've seen so far, you have to assume we're going to have at least a few more goals in this game.
Can UEA handle the pressure? 2 early goals in game number 4. Find themselves tied back just a little bit. Dylan with a flip reset. He's not going to have the trajectory to get a strong challenge on Ant-Man. A lovely one from JSW. Will keep pressure in the orange half. In fact, with a demo on Dylan should just relieve some of that pressure. Snipe can carry it down at the corner. Eclat's up, he's looking for a shot, angle not favourable, needs to make contact. Yotam taking it slow, bump from JSW, and Ant-Man gives him a bit of space. He gets past Eclat too. Infield pass, not quite there for Dylan. The JSW will take over. Lovely read from Snipe. Yotam sends it back forward, and Eclat will beat out. Snipe finds himself beaten. Ant-Man this time returning the favour. Yotam has to catch. 2:20 left in game number 4. UEA, as it stands, will bring one game back. Can't really count out Roehampton in this one just yet.
Of course not, and it seems for the most part, UEA, they're still just sticking to their fundamentals. You know, they want to do what they know they're good at, which is just simple Rocket League. Of course, they've got their playstyle, they've got their plans, they feed certain players at certain opportunities, of course. Every now and again, you'll just see them try something new, you know, whether it's a really good solo play from Ant-Man or Eclat or Snipe that works his way upfield into a good passing lane. And I think it's that you know, ingenuity, these ideas that they're trying to chase that is giving them the opportunities. Of course, they haven't converted all of them, but they're giving themselves more opportunities. They're giving themselves more opportunities against a foe like Roehampton that has seen them play time and time again. You need to have new ideas, you need to have new strategies, ways to unpick their defense and stop their offense from really flourishing, and that's exactly what we're seeing from them here. Not only in this game, but the entire series. It's just been Roehampton able to shut down so many of these different concepts that can't quite seem to do now, and instead this drops down. Yotam and Dylan, I feel like they were going to own goal that, but no, not quite. Now Snipe staying with this, and Dylan downfield has a waiting. Yotam goes for the demo, I think, and that's stripped away easily enough by Eclat Mackers now, and there will be one or two Roehampton players forced downfield. Awkward positioning. Oh my goodness, Yotam going to get that too far forward. Dylan comes in clutch instead, but less than a minute left. And this game could still very well be UEA's.
45 seconds to go. Are up by a goal. Managed to deal with just about everything Roehampton's thrown at them in the past 3 minutes since that JSW goal. They'd come off a mistake from Snipe, really, and not much else for Roehampton to show for it. Dylan beaten out. Eclat will clear. Yotam catches round 1, 50-50, doesn't go through the second. JSW forced to clear. Very awkward touch for both players involved. JSW gets a bump, gives Dylan the time to space, but Ant-Man has it all now. Snipe with a shot just wide. That could have been enough to close it out. The time not left on the clock. This one has to go down. It does. UEA, one big step towards that best of 7 reverse sweep. And it seemed, to be honest, relatively comfortable for them in that game.
Yeah, UEA didn't have loads and loads of offense. They had 7 shots, 2 of which they scored. Roehampton just had almost nothing. There were very few opportunities and occasions in which Roehampton were in their opponent's half at all. And that's, I think, the weird thing to think about is they've always been so dominant, whether they managed to score loads or, you know, we have those several minutes of overtime. We've had a couple this series already. Roehampton just have that pressure, and it's up to UEA whether or not they're able to keep up those shots or, you know, even just those shot opportunities. And there, it was shut down even before that point, which instead led to UEA's only a few shots, only a couple goals, being the difference and being something they could work with. Now, they did get an early goal and, of course, managed to add to that pretty quickly as well. So it's not like UEA weren't bad in that. It's not like Roehampton were bad in that store. Just UEA, they found the difference. They found that putting Roehampton in that deficit, they could just stay with it. They could keep on chugging at their own pace, and like you said, yeah, they were playing their own game. They felt comfortable. It wasn't that difficult for them to get that one.
Can they do it again on Wasteland Night? Still in the same perilous position. Bought themselves some more time, but out of lives once more. Roehampton just need to take one of the next 3 games to take this series and the title of New Spring 2023 champions for Rocket League. Yotam with catch. And now with no boost, can only force back the way. Eclat, awkward, lovely pinch touch off that backward clear, give them that space. Dylan did send it back to whence it came, but Snipe has time in the air. Looks for a 50-50 from the air dribble, and JSW gets the better of it. No contact made high on the wall. Yotam calls Dylan off that one. He's not got a lot of boost left in the tank though. He was in the right position for it, certainly better position than Dylan, but the boost that he had doesn't make the most of that control. Ant-Man looking for a shot, angle too tight. Eclat and Ant-Man double commit in the midfield. No response from Roehampton, sees them get away with it. As the first minute has gone, both teams with half chances really, but nothing of any real significance until Ant-Man, given a glorious opportunity by Snipe, puts UEA 1-0 up.
UEA, they're just giving themselves more pressure, more offensive chances, whereas these boys in blue, they're stuck on their own back line. Their rotations can barely go out to get those midfield boosts, otherwise they end up starved and not able to do much. So instead, it's being dominated by pace, by that boost consumption. And when you're doing that, you're going to eventually give up a goal like they just did. It was well worked after about a minute or so in the opponent's half, and yeah, that is well deserved from UEA Roehampton. Now again, facing a deficit, facing a position where as much as they're up in the series, letting go of one more game will put themselves in a position where the series score isn't too off balance, and it's something that they will start to get nervous about going into that game 7. You know, it doesn't matter about looking at stats of, oh, this team's more likely to win the game 6 and game 7 in a reverse sweep. It's just about in the moment, do they have the nerves, do they have the ability, are they starting to slow down or speed up their play and their actual capabilities of scoring? That's what it comes down to. And well, UEA, they've definitely upped their scoring output and seem to have almost crippled the scoring that Roehampton were otherwise doing so well to them earlier.
With it. Got that first game at least on track for a second in this one, so have to play it a long old way to go. A lot can happen in that time, especially such a fast-paced, momentum shifting esport as Rocket League. And Yotes having a lovely infield pass. Dylan just can't quite connect on it, a little too far out of reach. E-clap comes from the ceiling, hands over to Snipe for the double, and it's out off the post. Ant-Man on the follow-up sends it high. Dylan can clear only as far as E-clap. He's looking for the 50-50, gets it into the corner. Maybe not quite as effective as UEA would have liked, but that pass from Snipe again sets up a teammate, and Eclat drills that home 143 kilometers per hour.
Like the name suggests, Snipe, a marksman to just give Eclat that opportunity. The defenders aren't in a position to do anything with it. 143 kph, that is a blitzer, and oh my goodness, you can't do anything about that, let alone when you're out of position. Unreadable, unstoppable, and now this lead may be insurmountable. 2-0, it's not that bad. They have dealt with it before, of course, but when momentum is against you and you can barely get a shot off for your own name, in Roehampton, they are starting to struggle here. They slow down just a bit, and depending on what UEA are like for the next game or two, it could be a very different scoreline end result to what we thought. And never mind, Dylan's going to shut me up, just like the rest of Roehampton. They know that they're still in this. Yotam, what a nice collection of touches there. Dylan sneaks this one in top corner, almost as top corner gets, actually. That is an amazing finish.
Back within 1 minute 20 to go again. We need to see how UEA handle that answer back. Can they stand strong once more? Will they find a third and restore that 2-goal lead? There more to come from Roehampton in game number 5. Dylan and JSW both go up. It's not convincing from either of them. Yotam goes back to collect, can't pick up the corner boost, and therefore relatively low on the wall and won't send it much further than the possession of Snipe. Good challenge from JSW. He's following this one, and Ant-Man can clear just round the side of him. Yotam, no boost, gets demoed by Eclat. Snipe has taken out JSW as well. Now it's chaos in the backfield, cleared away by JSW on the respawn. Yotam with an early challenge in front of Eclat. 30 seconds to go now. It really could go either way.
Pressure will be on as much as UEA know they have to hold on to their lead.
We're also aware of a Roehampton counterattack, which Dylan could be the helm of here. Dylan, round one, maybe round snipe as well. That will ping out. Eaglet Mac has to get a touch, but there's a waiting. Yotam goes for the shot. That's going to be a miss. That could have been it. I don't think there was any defender back there. Now JSW over Yotam in the corner. Needs any sort of touch. A shot would be amazing. That's going to bounce down in UEA. They've managed to scrap back 2 games. 2 games, which I did not think they had in them after seeing the first 3. But no, they're still here to fight. They still want this crown. They want the bracket reset. That seems like such a distance away, and yet they're fighting tooth and nail for it. Roehampton, only the 4 shots for them. UEA, they end up with 6 in that game. And I mean, for both teams, unable really to get any sort of offensive output. 2 goals to 1. It's a low-scoring affair, low shots, but it's nail-biting and it's high intensity.
Yeah, that's a lot of 1-goal affairs that we've had so far in this series. Game 1 going Roehampton's way after overtime. Similarly in game 3, an overtime winner there. And then the past 2, 2-1 in the favour of UEA. They are slowly but surely clawing their way back into this one. And it's these opening goals that are absolutely massive for them. And it really begs the question: if Roehampton can stop shipping these sort of early goals, these openers to UEA, where does that put them in this game? Neo Tokyo coming up, and UEA trying to force Champions Field, give themselves a pop at that reverse sweep, which is already a massive thing, a best of 7 reverse sweep. But the fact that it will only reset the bracket, brutal.
Yeah, it's difficult even, just here watching it, the fatigue, trying to work through all this, explain it to the viewer. Imagine what the players are feeling, it's a lot to take in, game on game, it's high intensity. These players at the top of their game, and JSW popping this one up, wants the lead. If UEA get another early lead of a goal or 2, then there's no imagining how well they'll hold on to it, because they've been so good at it previously. JSW, another pop-up, who's going to be there? Eaglet Mac with that man goes as well, though it feels like Roehampton, they only need an early lead and they can do something with it, because otherwise they've been giving up these first goals time and time again. Well, we've seen how that's ended for them. Eaglet Mackers, what a read. Yotam, what a save. That was nearly catastrophic, but no, kept out, and still a 0-0 affair.
JSW, no boost left in the tank, right? 50-50 under E-flat. Man, struggling for control again. It's this real struggle between the 2 teams. They're not giving each other any space, immediately closing down. It's so much harder to do. What you want with that ball, you have to create that space for yourself, and that requires a 50-50. It can require a lot of boost, and when it does come down to making that chance, already used about half the time to even get past the first man. JSW could have really gone for that one in the midfield, opted not to. He's found Yotam on the side. He's again not got a lot of boosts in the tank. Roehampton struggling for boost management. JSW clean out in the tank as well. Gonna have to pick up pads on his way to support Dylan. Lovely Musty 50-50 in the middle, but JSW just a little bit too close. Ends up sending that high. Yotam with a shot, saved by Snipe. 2 minutes gone in game number 6. Dylan looking for another, and the angle too tight once more.
I'm loving the deal. I'm loving the fact that Roehampton, they're just giving themselves opportunities in the opponent's half. They've had a bit of real estate, able to just camp out there for maybe 30 seconds or so, a bit longer, but they're getting shots off, they're getting pressure, and instead they're forcing UEA to actually make plays, make saves. That man taking that into his own hand, wants to get this boost and ball, he's taking it back to his own half, to his own corner, and Yotam actually stripping him off possession entirely. Snipe easy enough to get that save, and again a good kick downfield, has no boost though. Go for another kick that is pretty dominant, and it should be falling now. Yotam downfield, what can he do? He can pass off to Dylan, but intercepted by Eaglet Mackers. Has to stay with this, and once more just looking to set something up for a teammate. The flick is red. They know he's too good at this. They know they can just bait it out and then get an easy enough clearance off of it. JSW with this trying to go round Ant-Man, round 1, not quite round the second. Dylan, a tough position. Snipe wants a teammate. Eaglet Mackers pops this up, so whoever's going to be there. Yotam into JSW instead, not quite the link up he was envisioning, and instead again, still somehow a 0-0 game. I keep looking at the scoreboard and being bewildered that after all this pressure, all this offense, no one's able to break through yet.
Couple of chances for either teams. It seems though Roehampton going the high road. UVA try to play it dirty, try and break through the 50-50s. Physicality. Neither team willing to give an inch up to the other. Grandma. Big pinch on that sidewall, takes it away from Dylan. JSW from his own corner. We'll send it right back down. Dylan to catch. Oh, he might get himself in a good spot here. Good recovery from Snipe to clear away. Yotam can't get beyond the front post. JSW into the corner. Dylan's up for the lead. He had it. So did Ant-Man. Ant-Man had it that half-second quicker. 1 minute to play now, and it's truly all to play for in game number 6. UAE have to take this game. They will surrender the Spring 2023 title to Roehampton. Roehampton, of course, try to deny a game 7. The potential of the best of 7 reverse sweep. Snipe with a double tap gets around JSW. Epa, the big boost steal, but Snipe had committed to it too. Leave Ant-Man back. He does enough to slow down Yotam. Eclap, the whiff. It's not going to cause too many problems. With the respect that he's gained from Roehampton, they've backed off. Snipe could clear. Plays it into the corner. 15 seconds now in game 6. Dylan carries this ball forward. JSW will take it off at Eclat. He's looking to be the hero. He won't get the chance. Ant-Man makes the save. Yotam with a 50-50. JSW puts Snipe under pressure. That'll go down. And once again, we have overtime.
We're in a position now where Roehampton, they're not trailing, they're not trying to chase the deficit. 1 goal could be the end of it all. Dylan wants it. Dylan can't quite get there every single time they're near the net now. I'm going to assume that it's going to be over. I'm going to get so excited. It's been so close, so tense between these teams, and now again Dylan with this wants to force it downfield. And UEA, I'm sure they realise the position they're in as well. They can't make any mistakes if they do. A team as well oiled as Roehampton will pounce.
Oh, there it is!
It's Roehampton. It's Yotam, of course it is. The leader of this team, they can take it all in game 6 and somehow weaving around everyone. The Eclat dies, Snipe assumes the teammates there, and that's going to be it for this series. Oh my goodness, Roehampton take it in a way that I was just not expecting.
2 players caught on the front post. They are neither make contact, and they are punished dearly. UEA trying to fight back from 3 games down. Too tall an order in the end. Roehampton are your Spring 2023 champions. Both teams, of course, moving on to the University Esports Masters. UEA will still have the better seeding of the 2, with Roehampton going into the last chance qualifier. Having said that, they will be the happier of the 2 teams tonight, coming away with the better share of the prize pool and bragging rights to go with it.
Of course, yeah, great fight throughout. I mean, 6 games, that's after the first 2 or 3, I wasn't expecting to go that far, but then after UEA started clawing it back, seeing that 0-0 game 6 overtime, not what you're expecting at all. A great surmountation, and every single player that we've seen today has played their absolute hearts out. Some top quality Rocket League, and I mean, Roehampton, they did deserve it. To be fair, they were stronger in that final, but UEA, they didn't go out to a sweep. They only got to 4-1. 4-2 is still respectable if you're looking at the scoreline. So no doubt, as much as they'll be annoyed that they're lost and all their players almost insta left as soon as that series was over, they can go away with some consolation that, like you said, they still do have the higher seed. They still were arguably, throughout both lineal splits, they've been better results-wise in terms of overall average placement, and they've still got plenty more opportunities to face Roehampton and take them down and again get one back over them.
Absolutely. We are going to go to a quick break here, but when we come back, we will have an interview with JSW of Roehampton, and we'll hear what he has to say after being crowned champion of Newell Spring 2023. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London. Saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Good evening and welcome back for the final time in the spring 2023. I am solo joined by Oxy, and we've got JSW and the rest of the Roehampton boys in the call. They're just peering over his shoulder there, as you may be able to see. First off, gents, congratulations on the win. Talk me through that game at number 6, because you were 3-0 up, brought back to 3-2, and a very nervy 0-0. What's going on in the comms going into that overtime?
I don't know. We knew we knew how to play. We won the first 3 games, and we just didn't really do that in the 2 other games. So we just knew we needed to go back to how we were playing, and yeah. I don't think we really did, but we still managed to get the win. So it's all good in the end.
And of course, again, I want to extend my congratulations. Well fought series overall. And well, you three, you don't play as much, of course. Dylan, different iterations of roster, of course, some experience. But does playing with Dylan potentially change how you play in terms of play styles, your mindset going into it, anything like that?
I definitely feel like our playstyle has changed since with Crisis. Like I feel like we can get more goals and be better offensively, so that always helps. And yeah, I mean, we won this time, so must have done something.
Does
So
help, yeah.
Offense being the best defense there. You, of course, have qualified for the University Esports Masters, starting in that last chance qualifier. How far do you see yourselves going in that?
I have no idea who the other teams are, so it's kind of hard to say. But based in in Europe, um, I think we have a good chance of definitely making main event and see how far we can push it.
Love to hear that. It's always good to have confidence, And well, I guess a team that you've got a lot of experience with is the UEA Blue Jays. You've played them so many times. In terms of whether it be the UK or the European scene, are there any other, established or developing grudges that you like playing or you're a bit more nervous about, anything like that?
Well, obviously we had the loss against Trent and UR, so a little bit of a grudge against them. Wouldn't mind playing them again to get our own back.
They won't be in it.
Were they not?
No, it's the only UK teams be Warwick and
I would love to play Warwick. I haven't got to play them yet on main roster.
That's a target set for the boys there.
2 call outs.
Yeah, absolutely. But once again, gents, thank you very much for joining us and congratulations. We will see you for the University Esports Masters. That is going to wrap us up for this evening and for spring 2023. Thank you to everyone for watching the Rocket League, Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for spring 2023. And a huge thanks to our sponsors, Prime Video, Prime Student, and Omen for making this possible. Oxy, it's been a pleasure. Any closing thoughts from me, mate?
Just brilliant Rocket League. Thank you to you, the other casters as well, everyone behind the scenes, and the players for turning up. Those all very much contribute to a great broadcast, and it's been great again being on here. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being a good co-caster, and thank you everyone behind the scenes.
That will do it. As we said to the boys, we will see you all for the University Esports Masters when they do roll around. But until then, take care of yourselves, and we will see you all soon.